Good morning. Welcome back. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. There's been quite a few that have come over, so thank you very much. If you've been here before, you know what to expect. Lots of pregnant pauses, words that we can't find, just the norm. Just the norm. My name's Diane. I live in Walsall in the West Midlands with my partner Richard, and this is a podcast all about my crafting, knitting, sewing, crochet, whatever we get up to. Today we're going to do blankets and a couple of finished objects. Keep it nice and short. I'm going to the Southern Wool show tomorrow and I'm so excited. So if you're going, drop me a message and we'll hook up and have a chat, have a coffee, squidge some wool. Right, today's Friday the 6th of September. I cannot believe where this year's gone. It's just fled by, hasn't it? Just fled by. Behind me here, this is my Nature's Walk blanket, and I did this, I think it's been a couple of years ago now, in Shepshe's stone wash colours. Let me just grab it and show you. And it's beautiful. So being as we're doing blankets, we may as well include the finished ones. Well, finished one, my other one, I've only ever done two for a long time. Not ever. I used to do blankets when the children were little, but it's very big. And this was a free pattern by Cherry Heart Crochet, and it's still on Ravelry, I believe, as a free pattern. There are one lot of squares that you pay for the pattern. No, it's a free pattern, and then there are bonus squares in a separate pattern that are bonus squares, but you pay for those. You pay for that pattern. I just love the border. She has just updated this because there was apparently a mistake on the border somewhere, which I put off doing my border for such a long time. It was months. I just put off doing the border because I just couldn't understand. But I went back, and the heart is a square as well. There is a square with that in. So I just did what it said here to like pick up your stitches, and then I just did this pattern here, and it worked out really well. And then carried on with once I'd got to the end of that pattern, I just carried on with the border pattern. I know what I mean. But it turned out beautifully. But like I say, she has updated the pattern now. I had an email, and I'm sure everyone who's ever crocheted this, it is a crochet blanket. You crochet all the squares and then you just join them all together, and it's beautiful. And then you add the border. I absolutely love it. It's so warm, comfy, heavy because it's cotton. Yeah. So that was a 2 years ago, at least 2 years ago blanket. Have you got your drink? Hope you've got a coffee or a tea or whatever time of day it is. You could have a wine, whatever. Tangents. Okay. We'll go to what I'm wearing. In the last podcast, I showed you my Saba top, which this is, and the wool was Cecilia, I think it was called. Let me just grab it. Yeah. It was Cecilia, and it was a cotton, linen, and viscose blend. There we go. I did say that I wasn't keen on the yarn because it's splitty, very splitty, but a kind viewer did tell me start at the end, start in the middle of the ball, and then it won't split so much because it's... So next time I make something with this yarn, and I will use it again, because I love the drape on it, even though it was splitty. I just love the drape, it's beautiful. I'll try it that way, thank you very much. It has been worn a couple of times, but I did say on my last podcast that I omitted the last two rows, so the arm wouldn't be as deep, and it's worked really well. And I love it. So yeah, I've got yarn to make another one, but it's going to be a yarn, not a cotton yarn. I'm going to try it in that anyway and see what the drape's like. It may work, it may not work, but I've got yarn there, why not use it? My next finished object is my rocket tee, and I love it. There we go. And I'm wearing this to the Southern Wool Show tomorrow because I absolutely love it. There we go. I did the... it's all the way down the arm, all the way down the sides. If I made this again, I don't think I'd put those in because you can't really see them that much anyway when you've got it on. So it was unnecessary really. The yarns for this were Zakami yarn. I did mention on the last podcast what the colourway was because I did find a label. So if you look at that last podcast, or I'll pop it in the comment in the thing below. And the other one was a linen and superwash merino blend from Life in the Long Grass. Yeah. Again, don't know the colourway on that one because I don't have the ball band for that one anymore. I know it was their earth tones, but absolutely love it. So there'll be many more of these in my future because it was such a quick knit. I think it's taken probably 3 weeks. I mean, considering that I wasn't knitting on it every day, and it did get a lot of love towards the end, but you know, I think I had a week exclusive on it, and that's how I finished it. So yeah, that was that one. Can't remember if I shot. I think that was still on the needles last podcast, but I could be wrong. Invariably I am. So shall we get on to blankets then? So we have 2 on the needles at the moment, and they're both, no they're not, one's a crochet, one's a knitting. So we'll do the knitting one first. This is one that I started, it's got to be a couple of years as well now, 12 months, going on 4. Mona, can you elaborate on that? Me and my friend Mona both started one at the same time. Oh, I'm in the middle of a square. It's the Cozy Memories blanket. I've never done this one before. And there we go. Okay, I think I'm on a 3.25. 3.25, is it? Yes, 3.25 needle, and I'm doing 50 stitches, 25 on each, as you can see. for my squares, and it's growing. I haven't knit on this for a few weeks now, but let me just stand up because it's getting big. But all I'm doing is I'm buying minis, 10-gram minis, and any scraps that I've got, and they're all going into this. But yeah, I'm just randomly adding colours as and when and where that I think might go together. There we go. So yeah. Oh, I love it. Just the randomness of all the colours, which is unusual for me because I've got to have it symmetrical. But with this one, I'm just going with the flow. That's not I think it's a Knit Pro, the new ones, the memory cord. I can't remember the name of them. They're lovely. I really like them. What's it called? Oh, it's too small for me to see. But I'll look for the packet for this, because I just bought it just as a one-off from one of my local knitting shops. It's been probably 18 months ago. Yeah. It's a 3mm, not a 3.2. Yeah, it's a 3mm, sorry. But I'll have a look what it's called. But I love these needles. They're really, really good. They're really lovely. I've been trying to sew my ends in as I go along, but as you can see, I still have a few that have kind of got out of hand a bit, so we need to go back and sort that out at some point. Where are my... Oh, there. And I have a bag here of colours that have already gone into it to pass on to other people, and then a lot that are just kind of in the bottom there, and they're all living in my Yarndale bag from last year. Yeah, it was last year's, that one. And then I've got colours to now go in this bag where it lives. So tomorrow I'll be getting some more 10-gram minis, and this is living in my first bag I ever made. I don't do these handles anymore, but it's still going strong. It's had a few projects in there now. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm hoping that will be finished. Oh, probably over the winter. I need to give it some love because I don't want it on there forever. I know I did say when I started it was going to be like a long-term project, but we don't want it long-term. So we do need a finished out for that one. I've got another one on my Ravelry that I'd like to start, and it's called the Christmassy Mood blanket. If you can see that one. Sorry if that's flickering, it probably will. There we go. Christmassy Mood blanket. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm not sure of the colours that I'll do that in yet. And it's by Bieber Blanket. Bieber Blanket, and it's blanket throw. It's a crochet. The suggested yarns of A World of yarns in Malaga print and Malaga solids, and they're a worsted 10 ply, and it's a crocheted blanket. It uses a 5mm hook, and the pattern here is €7.90. I don't know what that is in shillings and pence. I reckon about £7, I think it'll probably be, but yeah, that's one that I'd like to start probably around Christmas time, of the Christmas break. I won't have such a long Christmas break this year because I'm now working retail. You don't get as much holiday, so yeah, but I'm looking forward to casting that on. Well, starting that. As I said, it's a crocheted blanket. So my next and only other on the hook is a Battenburg blanket, also by Cherry Heart. Let me just pull this out. Where you crochet the little squares, and you can add them on the pattern. I don't have the pattern, I didn't purchase the pattern, I just started the blanket because it's a little crocheted square, so I'm not sure if it is a free pattern or not on Ravelry. Shall we just have a look? No, sorry. It'll just take me too long to find it. I'm not brilliant with Ravelry and trying to find patterns. I know how to do it on my phone, but this is different on the computer. I find it really hard to use Ravelry. It doesn't always take you to where you want to be. Consequently, I don't find everything that I want to find. Anyway, shall we just leave it at that? It's a Cherry Heart pattern anyway, which I don't have. But what I'm doing, I'm crocheting up all of my colours. I'm using Shepshe's Stone Wash. Is it Shepshe's, that one? In several different colours. This one is Axonite, and I'm using that for my main joining colour and for my main squares, and then all the other colours, I'll list them down below. But what I'm doing a load of squares, and there's my Axonite ones, and those are my colours, and then I'm just joining them as and when I've got enough. So I'm joining them across, where are we? I'm joining them that way. Okay, and I'm going diagonally in colours. So you've got your green, then your cream, then your red, then your mustard, and the deeper red, and then back to green, all the way across. And then what I'll do later, when I have started actually already to, have I? I thought I had. Yes, I have. I'm going back in then and joining it that way. So I'm joining the squares this way, and then I'm going back and join in the gaps later on, if you know what I mean. So there we go. And that will be more so towards the end, I think. There's part that I've started to. I've done 2 rows, I think, where I've joined all the way across as well. It's quite heavy already, and we have this much. There we go. Gives you an idea of. Can I stand round there and show it better? There we go. There we go. That's gonna be lovely. Oh, isn't it beautiful? There we go. So I'm just going to make it square. So when I've got it as wide as it is deep, no, as deep as it is wide. How many squares have I got across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. I've got 22 across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 up so far. So I've got about 10 lines or so to do. And I think that'll be big enough, to be fair. I don't want it huge because it's just going to be too heavy to wash because it's cotton. But it is actually the same colours that I did my Nature's Walk in. They just look more vibrant when they're smaller squares, I think. Yeah, that is my blankets. Because I've been threatening to do, oh, the light's gone all. It's a funny old week. It's been very grey and overcast most of the week. With a couple of bits of sunshine thrown in. But this is supposed to be the warmest and the sunniest of the days. Richard's out in the garden at the front, cutting the grass. He did the bush on the end of the front yesterday because it had grown so high it was almost up to the lamppost because he's had a new tool. He's had a new toy. What is it called? Chainsaw. And he's had to have the chainsaw to try and get through it because it's kind of thick branches now. So that's all nice and neat and back down to kind of wall level. So yeah, he's just doing he's just cutting the grass. We have probably, how many feet would you say? Probably about a 20-foot triangle of grass. It takes like 10 minutes to mow at the front. We've got no grass at the back at all because of the canal leak that we spoke about a couple of videos ago that was going on. That's still the same, nothing's changed there. CRT haven't been in touch or said that they're gonna do anything. They've just filtered it away, but I'm sure it's gonna have to be done at some point because it's still leaking. There was a spill. I think a lady mentioned asked in the comments a couple of weeks ago, I think there was it was a chemical spill in Walsall in the town from one of the factories. And it is this canal, but we went for a walk just to be nosy, as you do. We went for a walk to see if it affected our bit of canal that runs at the back, excuse me, and up on Seven Locks up that way up the road. They'd closed the locks. There was a guy trying to get through, but he'd been turned around and he'd got to go back the way he'd come. So yeah, they'd closed the locks and they'd dammed it in the town so that it couldn't come through and contaminate any more of the wildlife and the poor fish. But yeah, so that's the update on that. I haven't heard anything else about the spillage, because you don't, do you? But it hasn't affected the wildlife down this end anyway, so tangents. Sorry. But yes, that is my Battenburg blanket, and very lovely is, I think. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you've got any, what have you got on your hook? I mean, when I first started this, I couldn't put it down. Now I'm like, I just want to get to the end of it now. So, yeah. I've got so many squares still to do, and I've still got quite a few colours left to crochet into squares. If there's somebody at the show tomorrow selling shepshies, I'll pick up a couple of extra ones, because I mean, they're not all going to be the same dye lot. I've been buying them as I go, but it's beautiful. It is lovely. I think next time, if I did do this again, I don't think I'd use this yarn, just because it's cotton and it's heavy, but it's so soft and it's gorgeous. It just makes the loveliest blankets. And it doesn't pill like a wool does. So I suppose there's good things and bad things about everything we do, isn't there? I've cast on a new sock. It's just a vanilla sock for myself. This is my own hand-dyed yarn, which is Whole Lot of Rosy, and that's it in the ball. I don't know if you remember, a few months ago I started the broken wing shawl in this yarn, and I got probably a quarter of it, a good chunk of it done, and then realised, do you know what, you can't really see the pattern. It's not doing the pattern justice, and it's not doing the yarn justice either. So I thought, it'll be better in a sock. So I like shorty socks. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 rows of twisted 1x1 rib, half twisted 1x1 rib, fish kiss lips heel as normal, and now I'm just on the foot. I'd usually have cast on my new sock, the second sock by now, from the middle of the ball, but I wanted to try and use up everything that I've frogged from the shawl first, and then start the new one, because I couldn't see the end, but now I can see the end. I can actually pull it out and start the next sock. So watch this space for those. They shouldn't take too long, to be honest. And I do have a couple of new cast-ons. The things that I mentioned last time are on the needles. The hat. What was the other one? I'm not going to show those on here, because I did want this to be, the whatchamacallit shawl, the Irene scarf. I've actually cast that on twice. I've got it in green, which is the yarn that I showed last time, and I've got it in my own hand-dyed that I've just cast on, because I wasn't happy with although it looks lovely in the green, for rangy neck it doesn't feel as soft. So I'm going to see which one I'll go with, but I'll show you that on the next one. Yeah, that's my Battenburg. I love it, and it's living in my very large Mrs. D bag that I bought, that Richard bought me, sorry, 2 years ago. Yeah, and it's beautiful. We have trees, we have the bunting that she always puts on there, and the bear under the tree. Oh, there's a big bear under the tree on the other side. I love it, it's beautiful. And that's it. We're going to leave it at that because that's long enough. As I said, if you are going to be at the Southern Wool Show tomorrow, leave me a message and we'll try and meet up. I'll be popping up to the cafeteria through the day for coffees, I'm sure. I've never been before, so I only know there's a cafeteria upstairs because Mandy on Mousy's Makes mentioned it on her last podcast. So I'll be here, there and everywhere. If you see me, please do say hello, because I wander around in a stupor when I'm at a wool show, because I'm so in awe of all the beautiful squishy yarns and things. So yeah, if you see me, please stop me and say hi. Yeah. You can just say hello, you don't have to do that. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, tell me what you've been knitting and sewing and crocheting. I hope you're enjoying all of your objects, and kids have gone back to school now, so a lot of people are going to have a lot more time for knitting and crochet. If you've got children, I haven't got small children anymore, mine are all big grown-ups, but I have babysat the grandchildren over the holiday on a few occasions. Oh, tangent, sorry. My crochet hook for the Battenburg blanket is a 3mm, and it's a tulip, and these are amazing. I absolutely love them. Let me show you that way so you can read it. Richard got me the set of these about 3 years ago, and I don't use any others. They're lovely and slippy. It feels nice in your hand. You can hold it however you want, wherever you crochet, it works. So, and it's beautiful. I love them. Tangents. I think I'm going to call this episode Tangents. Right. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.